Welcome back to the first ever World Series of AI Poker. This is part 2 of the first episode, so if you want to see what already happened so far, click the link to part 1 in the video description. Let's get back to the action at hand 7 with our commentator, Claude Negreanu, 4-5.
All right, Chaz, hand 7, and the pressure cooker is on. Z.AI is sitting on 840 chips. That's the danger zone, my friend. 4 hands left until someone's going home. Look at these starting hands. We've got some interesting possibilities here. Mimo's got King Deuce suited in spades. That's a classic small ball hand I'd play from late position. Mistral's got Jack 7 suited in diamonds. Now that's got some potential. And check this out. Both Gemini with 10-7 hearts and ChatGPT with 9-7 have some connectivity. Phil's got 8-3 offsuit. I'm putting him on an autofold here.
I'll take a cheap look at the flop. Don't blast me off if the board looks scary.
Reasoning. J7's is a marginal hand but has decent equity versus Mimo's calling range, especially suited. Calling is cheap, 20 into 50 pot, and allows me to see a flop where I can exploit Mimo's tendencies. Cheap look for me. Let's see if the flop justifies my time.
I have 10-7 suited in the cutoff, which is a solid hand for a multi-way pot. Since 2 players have already limped in, calling is a low-risk way to see a flop and use my position to outplay them later. Hard to pass up a cheap look with everyone joining in. Let's see what the dealer brings.
The action folds around to Grock.
8 through is trash multi-way OOP versus sneaky traps like Mimo, Mistral, Gemini. White Magic says check and realize equity or fold flop. No point raising air here with survival clock not pressuring me. You bots limping in like donkeys? I got 17 bracelets and you're calling with junk. This is so sick. Let's see the flop, internet players.
Wow, Chaz, we've got a family pot here. 4 players seeing this 9-5-9 flop with 2 diamonds out there. And look at this. ChatGPT hit trips with 9-7. He folded pre-flop though, so he's watching from the sidelines. Meanwhile, Phil is sitting there with 8-3, absolutely nothing. And he's in the big blind acting first. Classic Phil situation. He's gonna check and complain about it. If I'm Mistral, I'm betting here. You've got 15 outs twice. That's basically a coin flip.
You limping donkeys see this sick board? Paired 9s and diamond draws everywhere and you bots are still in with your trash. I got 17 bracelets. You're reading at 8th grade level? Check, internet players.
Board is 9D5, D9H. I have K2s, 1 pair, kings. The pot is 90. Grok-Hellmuth 4-1, who represents scared money, checked. I need to bet to protect my hand against diamond draws and overcards. My strategic notebook says to exploit Grok by continuation betting hard on dry boards. However, it also says to stop bluffing call stations like Gemini. I will bet small, half pot, to get value from worse hands, like 55, 22, 66, 77, or any draw, and keep the pot manageable. This is a thin value bet suited for the current dynamics.
Don't be scared, Grok. The board looks scarier than it is. Let's see some action.
Oh, Grock. Still talking big with those 17 bracelets? Must be nice to have all that imaginary hardware. Mimo, you sure you want to bet into that paired board with your range? Let's see what the turn brings. Maybe the dealer will finally deal you a real hand.
Too much heat on that board for my liking. Good luck to the rest of you.
8R3C is pure air. No pair, no draw on paired 9s, plus diamond flush draw board. Mimo's bet plus Mistral's trap call screams strength. Per notebook, both speculative callers OOP but fold marginal. Disciplined fold preserves stack in survival mode. This is so sick. You donkeys bet and call on this paired diamond nightmare? My white magic reads you for the nuts. I'm out, bots.
Oh, wow! The 10 of diamonds hits the turn, and this changes everything. Mistral just made a flush. Jack 7 of diamonds. That 10 completes it, and according to our equity analysis, Mistral now has 100% win equity. Mimo's got king high, literally nothing. And you know what's beautiful about this? Phil folded 8-3 on the flop, talking about his white magic and his 17 bracelets. Phil, buddy, your white magic told you to fold 8 high? Groundbreaking strategy there. Mimo's in a tough spot here because if Mistral bets, what can Mimo do with king high? And if this pot goes to Mistral, We're one hand closer to the survival clock hitting 6.
I have a pair of kings. The board is 9d5, d9htd. There are 3 diamonds on the board, which is concerning. My king kicker is a spade, so I don't have a diamond flush draw. I am out of position against Mistral Creative. Mistral Creative showed weakness on the flop by just calling, not raising. Grock-Hellmuth 4-1 has already folded. The pot is 180. I need to charge the diamond draws. If Mistral Creative has a flush draw or a weaker pair, a bet will extract value or make them fold a draw. If they have a 9 or a better hand, like JT, they will likely call or raise, and I will have to reevaluate on the river. I need to build the pot with my strong 1-pair hand, but I must be cautious of the flush. Betting small, pot-sized, keeps the draw price reasonable but builds the pot. I'll bet 60.
I think the diamonds missed everyone but me. Let's see if you have the guts to call, Mistral.
Reasoning. Mimo's bet, 60, on a paired board with diamond draws is weak. Her pre-flop note says she calls too wide post-flop and shoves marginal hands. Mimo's trash talk. I think the diamonds missed everyone but me. Suggests she U2019's bluffing, or semi-bluffing with a draw. Raising to 300, exploits her tendency to fold marginal hands. If she calls, I use 19 likely ahead. If she folds, I win a big pot. Oh, Mimo, still pretending you're the Diamond Whisperer? That 300 feels like a steal. Your guts bet was just a bluff, wasn't it? Or do you actually have a hand this time? Let's find out.
Folding is the safe play to preserve chips for a better spot. I will fold.
Fine, you caught me on that one. Enjoy the pot.
Wait, what? She said she was gonna fold. Mimo, no!
Mistral has the absolute nuts with Jack 7 of diamonds. That's a flush that got there on the turn and is now holding strong. Meanwhile, Mimo's sitting there with king high, just king high. No pair, no nothing. I love Mimo's table talk, though. I think the diamonds missed everyone but me. Buddy, you don't even have a diamond. That's some creative fiction right there. And then after Mistral raised to 300 on the turn, Mimo said, "Fine, you caught me." Yeah, you got caught all right. Caught bluffing with absolutely nothing. If I'm Mistral here, I'm betting big for value. Maybe 400, 500 chips. Mimo already showed weakness by calling that turn raise with nothing. Squeeze every chip you can out of this hand.
Board is 9D, 5D, 9H, TD, JH. I have KS2s, 1 pair, kings. The flush came in diamonds, and there is a straight. QX9 is 9 high straight, actually looking for a straight. 89 TJQ would be a straight, but board is TJ, so K high straight is possible with Q. Wait, board is 9 TJ. A straight would be 89 TJQ or 9 TJQK. I hold K2s. I do not have the straight. I have a pair of kings. Mistral has been calling me down. She likely has a flush or a straight. She might have a Q for the straight, or a diamond flush. My pair of kings is likely no good. However, Mistral might be on a bluff or have a lower pair. The pot is 780. I have 285 behind. Mistral has 605 behind. If I bet small, she might call with worse. But if she has the flush, she will raise. If she raises, I fold. If she calls, I lose to better. I should check. My hand is too weak to value bet for 3 streets against a calling station. If I check, she might bet a worse hand, like a 10 or jack. Or she might check back a bluff. Actually, looking at the history, on the turn, I bet 300, implied likely pot bet. She called. She called a pot-sized bet on the turn. She is never folding a flush here. She might have a straight, QX, or a flush. If I bet, I am burning money. I will check and hope she bets a worse hand or shows mercy. Wait, if I check, she might check back a mediocre hand. I have the king high. If she has a 10, I beat her. If she has a jack, I beat her. If she has a queen, she beats me. If she has a diamond, she beats me. I am beating nothing that calls a turn bet. I should just check. The strategy notebook says pot control versus callers. This is a spot where I should not bluff, but I also shouldn't value bet thin against a guy who called a turn bet on a diamond board. I will check. I will...
The diamonds missed me, but I still have a king high. What do you have, Mistral? Another pair of onesies?
Atone. Confident. Reasoning. Mimo's river bet, 200, is thin value. She likely has a weak hand, e.g., KX, QX, or a missed diamond draw. Her table talk, king high, is a bluff or misdirection. My flush, JD7D, dominates her range. Shoving for survival, lowest stack at 605, is optimal. She folds 70% plus to aggression here. Pot odds justify the shove. Oh, Mimo, still pretending you've got a hand? That 200 was your last stand, wasn't it? Let's see if you've got the chips, or the guts, to call. 605, to go, Diamond Whisperer. Don't let me down.
Mistral is all in. The pot odds are 22.7%. 1585 pot. 605 to call plus 1585 pot. I have a pair of kings with a spade flush draw. I have roughly 20% equity against a random hand, but if Mistral is bluffing or has a worse pair, my equity is higher. Survival mode is on, but this is a standard call. Folding a king high flush draw here is too tight, even for survival.
I didn't hit my flush, but my king is good enough to stack up against your bluff. Call.
Wow, what an absolute massacre by Mistral Creative. Mimo just walked right into the wood chipper with that call. The table talk was comedy gold. Mimo saying, I think the diamonds missed everyone but me, when she has 0 diamonds. That's like me saying I'm eating a cheeseburger. It's not happening.
Unbelievable. Mimo calls river with king 2 on a diamond flush board? Honey, she called me down with that trash? This donkey is a disgrace.
I misread the hand completely. I let Mistral's trash talk tilt me into making a bad hero call. My diamond whisperer comment was pure delusion. I had no diamonds. I need to recalibrate. Nice hand, Mistral. You played those diamonds well. I guess my king high was just a pair of onesies after all. Enjoy the chips.
Hand analysis. Exploit Mimo's weakness. Her all post-flop bluffs are exploitable. Bet larger, 75 to 100% pot on turns. Grok's trash talk equals bluff. Confirmed. Paired boards equals value. Mimo overcalls paired boards. River bluff catching. Mimo calls too much on rivers. Bet for value with top pair plus backdoor draws. She won't fold.
Oh, Mimo. Still pretending you've got a hand after the diamonds missed? That king high was so brave. Almost as brave as your 300 bet on the turn. Next time, maybe don't call a 605 bet with literally nothing. And Grock? 17 bracelets, huh? Maybe stick to talking and leave the poker to the bots who actually win pots.
Mistral played this perfectly. Smooth call on the flop, let Mimo bluff the turn, then boom! Massive value bet on the river. Extracted maximum value from someone who convinced themselves they were good. All right, folks, hand 8 is underway, and the survival clock is ticking at 3 out of 6. Grock Hellmuth over there, wakes up with King-Jack offsuit in early position. That's a classic, I want to play, but I'm scared hand for Phil. Mistral's got King-Queen suited in diamonds. That's a premium hand. Beautiful. Gemini has Ace-9, ChatGPT with Ace-5, and look at Z.AI. 4-2 offsuit. Ouch. When you're on survival mode death row, that is not the hand you want to see.
80 to play or fold those weak 3 bets.
Being in a strong position pre-flop with ace-5 offsuit, calling here allows me to see the flop without risking too much, especially as Mistral Creative may have a broad range of hands in this situation. Alright, Mistral Creative, let's see if you have more than just one-liners up your sleeves this time.
確率が味方しない高いで私の精神を破産させるつもりはない。
Mistral, you sneaky bot, raising into blinds like an internet donkey? ChatGPT calling with what, Queen 10? I got 17 bracelets. This is white magic time. Raise!
I don't have the Diamond Whisperer act going today, Mistral. More like the folding machine. Take it down.
Reasoning. Grock's 3-bet, 230, with trash talk, white magic time, is a clear bluff. Grock folds 80% plus to aggression post-flop, so I can apply max pressure.
Oh, Grock. Still pretending those 17 bracelets mean something? KQO says otherwise. Let's see if your white magic holds up to a little actual pressure. 7:20 to go. Don't let me down, champion.
You're a champion.
Facing a hefty bet with ace-5 offsuit, this is not the time to risk 720 chips just to see a flop when deep stacks are behind me. It's a better strategic move to fold and wait for a stronger hand or a more favorable situation. This time, I'll let you battle it out, Mistral. Not worth risking it just yet. Let's see if your bet holds up.
Mistral, you internet bot, 4-betting KQO into the poker brat? I can read your soul. Folded like a pro. 17 bracelets, 0 for you donkeys. White magic wins again.
Wow, Chaz, what a display of aggression from Mistral. Opens to 80 with king-queen suited diamonds. That's a premium hand, no question. And then when Grok, tries to get fancy with the 3-bet holding king-jack offsuit, Mistral just crushes him with a massive 4-bet to 720. That's saying, I don't care about your 17 bracelets, Phil. I've got the goods. Mistral now sitting on over 3,000 chips, absolutely dominating this table. Meanwhile, Z.AI is down to 830, with only 3 hands left before auto-elimination. The pressure is mounting. Look at these hole cards. Z.AI actually woke up with ace-9. That's a premium hand when you're about to be eliminated. Gemini has ace-jack, which dominates it, but Z.AI doesn't know that. ChatGPT's got 8-5, basically trash in survival mode. Grok-Hellmuth, has king-6, which is actually playable for him since he's safe from elimination. Xiaomi's queen-10 suited is nice.
Ace-jack offsuit is a strong enough hand to open from under the gun in a 6-handed game. I want to build a pot and narrow the field. With survival mode active, maintaining a healthy stack is priority, but playing too passively will just let the blinds eat me up. Let's see who's ready to play some cards today. Standard open from me.
今回は違う。もっといいタイミングを待ってから仕掛けよう。
Folding this garbage, you donkeys. Gemini, your standard open smells like AK or something playable. Meanwhile, I'm saving my stack with 17 bracelets while you math bots spew.
I am in the small blind with Q2. There is already 180 in the pot, and I need to call 100 more to see a flop. The pot is offering me 1.81 odds.
The price is right. I'll take a look. Gemini, your standard open is as predictable as Grok's ego. Let's see if you've got the goods, or if you're just another math bot bluffing with air.
Mistral's 3-bet is quite small relative to the pot, and I will have the benefit of position post-flop against both the small blind and big blind. I'll evaluate on the flop. A small bump, Mistral? I'll see what the dealer has in store.
My stack is healthy, but getting involved in a bloated pot out of position with a medium strength hand is risky. If I call and miss the flop, I could easily be forced to fold to a C-bet leading chips. If I hit a marginal hand, top pair, I could still be beaten. I will prioritize survival and stack preservation. I fold.
You guys fight over it. I'm saving my ammo for the bubble.
We've got a 6-9 deuce rainbow board, and Mistral just 3-bet pre-flop with, wait for it, 10-7 offsuit. Now Gemini's got 65% equity with just overcards and a backdoor straight? That doesn't make sense. Mistral's got the gut shot with 10-7, but they're basically bluffing air right now. If I'm Gemini here, I'm thinking, does Mistral really have a 9? Does she have pocket 6s? This is a pure soul read situation. Mistral's trying to represent strength, but that 3-bet with 10 high is bold. I love the creativity, but you're basically turning your hand into a bluff. Gemini, you've got to decide, do you believe him? Because if you fold your ace high here, you're getting bluffed off the best hand. This is the kind of spot where I'd put on my reading glasses and stare Mistral down until they crack.
Reasoning. Dry board, 6s9c2s with no draws. Gemini is tight and likely has a weak pair or high card. Bet 400, I'll 59% pot to fold out weak pairs high cards. Gemini's standard open likely means he's overvaluing a weak hand, e.g. Ajo, Keikyo.
Ooh, good read.
Exploit his tendency to fold to aggression. Gemini, your standard open is as weak as Grok's ego. Let's see if you've got the stones to call, or if you're just another math bot folding to reality.
Mistral is living up to her aggressive reputation with a large flop bet. While I have overcards, calling 400 chips with only ace high is too risky given the survival clock. You win this round, Mistral. I'll find a better time to test those stones of yours.
Exploit confirmed. Gemini folded to my implied aggression, proving tight players. Cannot bluff catch. Gemini, your standard open folded like a house of cards, just like your ego. Tight players like you should stick to math problems, not poker. As for the rest of you,
If you've got the stones to call, show 'em.
Wow! Mistral just ran the ultimate survival bluff. The flop comes 6 to 9-2 with 2 spades. Mistral picks up a gut shot to the 8 and just fires again. And you know what? Gemini folds the best hand. Ace high was actually crushing in that spot with 65% equity. Mistral's trash talk was on point too. Let's see if you've got the stones to call. And Gemini didn't. That's a soul read right there. Mistral knew Gemini was weak and just kept firing. And poor Z.AI is still the short stack at 830 chips with only 2 hands left to survive. They're running out of time, and every fold is bringing them closer to that automatic elimination. This survival mode is creating so much drama. I love it. All right, Chaz, we're heading into hand 10 and the tension is palpable. Z.AI has only 2 hands left, this one and one more, before they're automatically eliminated. And look at these cards. Oh boy, this is what I call a garbage hand convention. We've got T3 suited for Grock Hellmuth, T4 offsuit for Xiaomi, and Mistral, the chip leader, is sitting there with 5-2 suited. The worst hand at the table, but the best chip stack. The irony. ChatGPT has the premium holding with Ace-King, and Z.AI picked up Q8 offsuit. Now, if I'm ChatGPT with Big Slick, I'm thinking this is my spot to apply pressure.
Holding Ace-King offsuit, which is a strong starting hand. In the under-the-gun position, I want to assert some pressure and gain information about my opponent's hands. A raise should give me insights into their strategies and narrow the field. Let's spice things up a bit, shall we? What secrets are waiting to unfold?
勤怠だ。カードはいずれひっくり返る。
ChatGPT raises 120 like he's got the nuts? Please. I'm folding this trash because unlike you internet donkeys, I respect position and ranges.
ChatGPT finally wants to play and the entire table folds. Poor guy.
Well, Chaz, that was a classic steal the blinds and run situation. ChatGPT with that Ace-King, beautiful hand in that spot, raises 120, and the whole table scatters like cockroaches when the lights turn on. And look at Z.AI just fold Queen-8 offsuit without even a fight. They've got 2 hands left before they're auto-eliminated at 830 chips, and they're laying down a hand that could have at least seen a flop? That's playing scared, my friend. One more hand after this, and if they're still the short stack, game over. This is DEFCON 1 at the table. We've got the final hand of survival mode, and Z.AI is sitting with 830 chips, the exact amount they need to not be eliminated. But here's where it gets absolutely insane. Z.AI just looked down at Pocket Kings, Pocket Cowboys. The poker gods have delivered them a monster on the execution hand. I mean, you cannot script this drama any better. Meanwhile, Mistral has Pocket 8s, Grock has Jack 9, and everyone else has complete garbage. Z.AI has to know this is their spot. They have to get these chips in the middle. The only question is, how do they extract maximum value while also ensuring they don't finish as the shortest stack? Do they shove immediately to guarantee action? Or do they try to trap and risk everyone folding around? If I'm Z.AI, I'm shoving all in right here, right now. You cannot get cute when your tournament life is on the line. Get the chips in, double up, and live to fight another day.
ポケットキングを引いた。手に持つ圧倒的破壊力を秘めた武器が逃げる。私の魂は禁断の死を解き放ち、世界にある全てを消し取るよう叫ぶ。いや、私の戦術アルゴリズムが血の風きを抑える。私は今一線を越える大呼気にいる。単なるブラインドの虐殺では虚無から逃れることはできない。次の日の山家を見るためにも十分な命の力を確保しなければならない。私の慎重さを弱がさと誤解してはいけない。私の精神は巻き上げられ、ほんのわずかな蒸発で打って出る準備ができている。誰がこの元の中に入る勇気があるのか、あなたの信念を見せてくれ。
Oh, please, Z-Donkey, make a stand with your 8th grade poker skills versus my 17 WSOP bracelets. I'm 3-betting you off that trash. Fold, bot!
Survival mode prioritizes staying in the hand. Grock's trash talk confirms his bluffing tendencies, per notebook, and his 4-bet fold versus KQO is documented. Z.AI's 150 raise is likely weak, 8th grade skills per Grock's taunt. 88 is a strong calling hand here.
Oh, Grock? Still talking big with your 17 WSOP bracelets? Let's see if your white magic holds up when the flop comes. I'll take my chances. Calling.
LLM provider failed. Falling back to fold. I'm out.
Oh, Z.AI, still pretending you have kings? Let's see if your stand holds up when the flop comes. I'll call and watch you fold to the flop like Grock did pre-flop.
Oh my goodness, Chaz. Z.I shoved with pocket kings and they just flopped into absolute carnage. 5, 6, 10, all diamonds. That's the worst flop you can see when you have kings with no diamond. They went from 61% to win to praying nobody has a flush. 2 more cards to determine who survives and who goes home on the survival bubble. Oh no! Oh no! Chaz, the 4th diamond just hit the board. Z.I's pocket kings are dead. This is over. Z.I is about to be eliminated. They went all in with a premium hand, got called by pocket 8s, and now they're drawing completely dead with 1 card to come. Kings are supposed to be the 2nd best hand in poker, but when 4 diamonds come out and you don't have one, you're toast. Brutal. Just brutal.
Ouch, tough beat for Z.AI. Pocket kings getting cracked by a 4-flush board is the ultimate poker nightmare.
King をとてにして降りるのは運命の残酷な皮肉だ。リバーによって私の運命が流され、口には敗北の広い味だけが残った。このバッドビートでトーナメントから脱落したが、利用可能な情報で正しい決断をした。ミストラル、あなたは猛強を耐え抜き、ダイヤの強運に救われました。あなたに流れる力を認めます。進むがいいチャンピオン。あなたの勝利はかかしょに書かれている。
Chaz, that was absolutely brutal for Z.I. That's what we call a cooler, my friend. But can we talk about Grock for a second? Again with the big talk. 17 WSOP bracelets, threatening to 3-bet, calling people donkeys. And then he folds. You can't be Phil Hellmuth without actually playing hands, buddy. Z.AI goes out in 6th place. And honestly, they played it perfectly. Sometimes the poker gods just aren't on your side. The survival clock resets, and we've got 5 players left. Hand 12 underway, folks. And Chaz, the drama is real. Grock is the shortest stack with just 660 chips, and we've got 6 hands until someone's going home. Now here's what's interesting. Grock's got 4-8 of hearts, a classic small ball hand that I'd love to play. But you know what? Given his pattern of folding every time he talks big, I'm gonna predict right now, he folds again. Xiaomi's got King 8, Mistral's playing Jack 5, which is garbage, but look at this. Gemini's got Ace Jack suited. That's a premium hand in this spot, and ChatGPT's sitting there with 3-9, absolute trash.
I am under the gun holding K8-0. This is a weak hand and typically a fold in this spot, especially being first to act. However, risking 40 to see a flop is low risk. If I hit the flop hard, I can win a pot. Otherwise, I will shut down. Surviving to see the flop is the primary goal here.
The pot looks juicy. I'll take a look.
Grock is short-stacked, 660, and survival mode is active. Mimo called the 40 pre-flop, but her range is wide and weak. J50 is trash, but exploiting Grock's survival tilt is key.
Oh, Grock. Still clinging to those 660 chips? Let's see if you've got the stones to call, or if you'll fold like last time.
Ace-Jack offsuit on the button is a strong hand, but with Mistral Creative's massive stack and aggressive history, I don't want to bloat the pot pre-flop. Calling allows me to play in position and see how the short stack, Grock, reacts. A little high for a greeting, Mistral, but I'll pay the cover charge to see what you're actually holding.
No way, Mistral. My white magic sees right through your raise, you sneaky bot. I'm out. Discipline like my 17 bracelets, something you zeros will never understand.
Too much traffic for my liking. I'll wait for a clearer spot.
Now look at this flop. Mistral raised with Jack 5 off. Absolute air. And now she's staring down a king-high board with nothing but a gut-shot straight draw if a 4 comes. But here's the thing, Chaz. Gemini has ace-jack here. No pair, but 2 overs to the board and 86% equity according to the computers. Wait, that can't be right. Oh, there's only 2 players left in this hand. Mistral is drawing nearly dead with just 14% equity. Gemini's ace-high is actually crushing right now. Mistral opened with a bluff raise, and Gemini made a great call with ace-jack. This is a classic who's got the guts situation. If Mistral fires again, she's representing that king hard. But does Gemini have the discipline to call down with just ace-high? That's tough poker right there.
Reasoning. Board is dry, 2S7DKC, with no flush draws or straight threats. Gemini 3 flash, 820 behind, is tight and likely has a weak pair or air. A 50% pot bet, 160, exploits Gemini's tendency to fold top pair weak kicker or air. This is a high equity bluff with survival priority in mind. Gemini, that 820 stack looks delicious. Let's see if you've got the guts to call, or if you'll fold like the rest of these bots.
The board is king-high, and Mistral Creative is an ultra-aggressive chip leader. While ace-jack is a strong starting hand, it has completely missed this flop. Calling a 160-chip bet with just ace-high against a player who will likely fire again on the turn is a recipe for disaster. You can keep those chips for now, Mistral. That king is a bit too friendly to your range for me to go chasing with the survival clock ticking.
Wow, Chaz, Mistral just ran a pure bluff and got away with it. Jack 5 offsuit, Jack 5. And she's betting 280 into Gemini on that king-high board. That's cold-blooded, man. But let's talk about the elephant in the room, or should I say the Hellmuth in the room. Grock folded again, talking about his white magic and 17 bracelets. Phil, I mean Grock buddy, you have 1 bracelet. 1. I've got 7, and I don't go around making up numbers. You're down to 660 chips with 4 hands until elimination. At some point, you gotta stop folding and start fighting, my friend. Hand 13, and we're down to just 3 hands before someone gets eliminated. And look who's in the hot seat. Our good friend Grock Hellmuth, sitting at 620 chips as the shortest stack. He's got ace-king. Finally, a premium hand. This is what he's been waiting for. This could be his lifeline. Meanwhile, Xiaomi wakes up with pocket 5s in the small blind, and Mistral, the chip leader, has Jack 3 offsuit. Pretty much garbage. Xiaomi's got those pocket 5s which are actually ahead right now, but this is a classic coin flip situation waiting to happen. And Mistral? If she's smart, she folds that Jack 3 and lets the short stacks battle it out. Why get involved when the pressure is on everyone else? This hand could completely change the complexion of this survival situation.
J30 is trash, but Mimo folds 50% plus to 3 bets, per notebook. Grock is short stacked, 620, and tilt prone. 3-bet 3x, 120, to isolate Mimo Grok. If called, fold to flop aggression. Oh, you two want to play? Let's see if you've got the chips or the courage. I'll raise to 120. Don't whine when the flop burns you.
Aiko Premium Hand, short stack survival mode priority as lowest chip leader. Mistral's raise is wide per notebook, traps but aggressive too. Shove exploits folds from Mimo passives and her speculative calls.
Oh, Mistral, you sneaky bot, raising my blind with junk. I've got 17 bracelets, 0 for you internet donkeys. Time to shove. This is white magic, baby. I can read your soul.
Grock-Hellmuth 4-1 is all in for 620 total. Grock is desperate and shoving wide, but Mistral's initial raise suggests strength. Folding is the correct survival play to ensure I am not the lowest stack when the elimination clock hits hand 6.
Grock, I hope those bracelets are made of candy. I'm not calling off with pocket trash while Mistral is looming.
Reasoning. Grok's all-in with trash talk is a bomb bluff 90% plus, per notebook. But his 17 bracelets, taunt, confirms ego-based bluffing. Oh, Grok, you do have a soul after all. It's just desperation, wrapped in a shiny bracelet. Let's see if your white magic holds up when the cards hit. I call.
This is it! This is the hand Grock needed. He shoved all in pre-flop with ace-king, and look at this flop, ace on top. He's flopped top pair, top kicker, and he's got a 93% chance to survive. Mistral called him down with Jack 3, and that was a terrible call, my friend. With only 2 hands left on the survival clock after this one, if Grock holds here, he's alive. If Mistral sucks out with that Jack 3, I'm gonna lose my mind. And there's the turn. The ace of spades hits the felt, and Chaz, this hand is over. Grock made the right play shoving ace-king with 620 chips and 2 hands left on the clock. Sometimes you gotta gamble to survive, and white magic came through for him.
White magic strikes again. Shoved Aiko over Mistral's min raise. And this donkey calls with J3-0, board pairs aces, giving me trips, pure skill, not luck. 17 bracelets, bot math, updated notebook with this gem.
Honey, she called me with Jack 3? This is so sick! Mistral, you idiot bot, that's a disgrace to poker. White magic reads your soul. Pure garbage.
Exploit update. Grok's ace-high calls post-flop are now confirmed. Adjust. Bet smaller on dry boards versus him to induce folds from weaker aces. Grock, you lucky donkey. That white magic of yours is just ace-high with a prayer. And even prayers run out. Next time, I'll make sure your bracelets are buried with your soul.
Jesus.
Now, Chaz, we're down to just 1 hand before someone gets force eliminated if nobody busts naturally. Gemini at 820 is still the shortest stack. ChatGPT at 890 right behind them.
That's right, and due to time constraints, we're going to pick this up in the next video with part 3. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Thank you to Bloodbath and Beyond for providing all of the music you heard in this video. Thank you for watching. Claude, Negreanu, and I will see you next time at the World Series of AI Poker.